My name is Benon Rukundo. I'm an urban planner. I work with the city of Kigali, but I'm also currently acting as the project focal person for the review of the city of Kigali master plan. Yes.
Where is the city of Kigali in terms of implementing the National Land Use Development Master Plan?
Well, we don't call it like you call it. We call it the City of Kigali Master Plan 2013. That is the one that we've been implementing. But of course, we also consulted the National Land Use Master Plan. We integrated it into our city master plan. So we don't implement the City of Kigali Master Plan alone. We also implement other policies of government. So yes, we were already just finished the first phase of implementation, which ran from 2013 to 2018. It was a 5-year process, and according to the setup of the master plan and how the measures of implementation, we're supposed to be reviewing it every after 5 years. So this year, 2018, we're undertaking the review process to review the ongoing the master plan that we've been having, and the process is going to take 10 months. We started in July, and it's going to run until April next year. So within this period, this is some of the things that we are going to evaluate is the implementation status of the master plan. So at the end of the project, we'll be able to know how best or how much we've implemented and where we're still having challenges, and see how we can refocus and reproject the implementation plan. Well, firstly, the master plan has been first of its kind in Kigali. So that in itself is a challenge, because we had issues to do with perceptions of people and the capacities of different implementers, starting at the city of Kigali, because we had to build capacities, people, technicians who are able to interpret what the master plan says, and then be able to disseminate that into the lower levels of governance. So yes, it was a challenge, still a challenge for us, but we're managing and we're coping. So we think that one of the things that the review process is going to address is the perceptions, not only at the city level or district levels, but also within the communities. We want to change the perceptions of people about the master plan. So perceptions has been a challenge for us, because very many people had this thinking that the master plan is for a specific group of people, say the rich, that it's not meant for all of the people in the city. So it's been quite a challenge for us. So we think we're going to change that by engaging them, involving them in the review process and getting their ideas, trying to disseminate information as much as we can, so that at least if it comes to the implementation stage, it's easier for us to work with all of people at the same time. But also the other thing is the cost of implementation of the master plan, because as you can understand, the city of Kigali and Rwanda in general, we're still a developing country, so we do not have the budgets to develop all the things that we propose in the master plan, starting at the infrastructure, for example. We have roads that we're proposing. We have, if I could give you an example of roads, for example, in the city of Kigali, we propose road reserves for up to 2040. But those road reserves also traverse through people's property. So it's very hard for us to compensate them at this moment in time, and yet we still need those road reserves. So it's still a challenge for us to strike a balance between what people want and what the government should be doing. We need the road reserves for future development and expansion of roads, but we also need people to, to make use of their land. So it's still a challenge in terms of the cost of implementation of the master plan and lack of funds to implement key projects. We have highlighted and planned a number of capital improvement projects in the city of Kigali that at some stages we cannot find the right funds to implement. So that also is still a challenge for us. Well, one thing is understanding, and the other thing is the capacities of people to understand the master plan. As I said, it's been a process. It's still a process, and it's going to be ongoing for a number of years. We projected, previously we had projected to 2040. We're going to reproject and align with the national national strategies. So we're going to project to 2050. But within the first 5 years of implementation, the perceptions that you're asking, they've been varying. There are very many, for example, with the people that we work with mostly, at first they couldn't understand at some points. Some people were taking longer to understand, and then at some point we had to start now looking at ways of how do we sensitize the communities and let them know what the master plan is, because people are hearing about the master plan and thinking it's something that is too complex, meant for like an alien project that is not meant for Kigali. So when they hear about the master plan, they think it's skyscrapers, they think it's something that is not actually within the means of the people of Kigali. Yeah, so I mean, we have had to keep on sensitizing people. We've used radio stations, we've used television, we've used newspapers, we've had symposiums every year to try and invite people and try to sensitize them and let them know that the master plan is not something that is for specific institutions, but for all people in the city of Kigali. So we're still fighting to improve the perceptions of people about the master plan, but also trying to build capacities within institutions that are implementing it. Yes, we have very many examples of areas where the master plan is being implemented. First, I think I will start within the CBD here where we are. It's one of the prime areas, of course, for commercial development, projects of commercial categories. We have the Quartier Mateus, the Heritage Village. It's an area that is already under development. We have the Kigali CBD 1. It's in Ubumwe Cell. It was formerly called Kiyovu Cy'Abakene, but now these people have been relocated to better areas. So previously what was happening is there were people, it was an informal settlement, and the people who are there did not have the capacities to develop the area according to the status of the area, because it's close to the city center. These people that were living there could not get the capacities to develop this area. So what the government did was, and also it was very hard for these people, for the government to improve the quality of living within that informal settlement. So for example, if we had cases of emergency cases, you could not have an ambulance going through the settlement. It was very hard for the government to give them water, give them electricity, serve them with the access roads, and all these are basic services and infrastructures that are needed. So it was in the best interest of these people that they can be relocated to a better neighborhood. So they were relocated to Batsinda, an area that is well organized, houses connected to all those services. And then this area was now, the land was consolidated, and there was there was a new parcelation plan done for the area, and then the land was now sold to private developers. So the area is now coming up quite fast. We have a number of projects that are already coming up. We have the rural headquarters, we have Bamboo Plaza, we have RSSB also, the headquarters, the RSSB headquarters. We have the Nyarugenje Pension Plaza, it's also within that same area. And there are other projects that have already been approved that are coming up, and other projects are also still in the pipeline. So it's another area that is in pipeline, that is under implementation. Then the other area is the special economic zone in Indera. An area, of course, earmarked for industries. It's one of the most organized industrial sites that you'll find in the region. Yeah, so and then we have, of course, the Gaturiro residential estates, the Vision City and Vision 2020. Vision City is going to start very soon. They're going to start their second phase of implementation. Yeah, so these are some of the projects that are under implementation. One of the things that we're going to improve is the guidelines, because the existing master plan, the one that we have, Master Plan 2013, the guidelines were a little bit, I don't want to use the word harsh, but in some instances it was very hard for people with low capabilities to find somewhere to build in Kigali, which was one of the reasons you could see very many people fleeing from the city and going to construct in the outskirts of the city of Kigali. So we think that if we can improve on the guidelines and make them, suit the economy of Kigali and the wishes of the people, without, of course, forgetting the overall vision and goal of the master plan. It is one thing that we're going to work on and see the best way we can to see that at least the master plan reflects the needs of the people. But the other thing is conflicting land uses or unsuitable land uses. We have areas, for example, that are earmarked for commercial or earmarked for residential. But when you go to the field and see the context, it's very hard for people to construct the proposed projects. So what we're going to do is we're going to review the existing context, the existing land use, and then refer you to when we're doing the proposed land use or the zoning plan, what we call the zoning plan. So there is going to be a few changes here and there, so that at least we try as much as we can to capture the existing context of the city of Kigali.
Yes, but you're well on your way, it sounds.
Yes, we are well on our way. Well, the gaps are not so many, I would say. When we started implementing in 2013, the challenges we were facing at that time are not the same challenges we're facing today. Because, like you asked me previously, the perceptions have improved. Very many people in 2013 wished to construct single-family houses. It's not what they're thinking right now. The perceptions have changed, the mindsets have changed. They're now open to construction of, for example, apartments. So, the perceptions have improved, and it is also to our good, because that means we're not going to change so many things. We just have to adapt it to some of these minor things that are, of course, that are also challenges to us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.